This episode of the Wayang Crew Podcast is brought to you by Times Cineplex. Hey, welcome back once again to yet another episode of the Wayang Crew Podcast. It's me, Kev, as usual, speaking to you on this program where we talk about all things movies, especially movies that are playing here in Brunei and Darussalam. Today, we'll be giving you a review of a movie from Jordan Peele called Us. So stay tuned to see what we have to say and the review that's coming from Us. But first up, it's my co-host, it's Tibby.
So lame.
Truth bomb.
I'm here.
What's up?
What's up? Just watched the movie at 10:45 a.m. this morning.
Yeah.
It's very early. We got the whole cinema to ourselves.
Yes, it was just the three of us because
Yes.
we watched with myself, you, and our friend John. And at 10:45, we were the only ones in the cinema.
Was that extra scary?
No, it wasn't actually.
Okay.
Well, we'll get more to that as we talk about this movie in our review. Next up is the other co-host of the podcast. It's Khai. He's back.
Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going?
So
Nothing much. It's I don't know. It just feels like a really sleepy day.
it is. It's very
Right.
gloomy now.
Yeah, it is.
It was really hot earlier on
Yeah.
today, as in extremely hot.
Yeah.
2 hours ago.
2 hours ago, but now it's toned down a lot and it's actually quite gloomy. There is a weather warning that it might rain with thunder showers. later
Oh,
on
okay.
tonight.
Good to know.
Which is good because certain parts of the country there is bushfires.
Bushfires.
Yes, there's actually a one in Tutong right now.
Oh, huge one, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the air quality is really bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what's happening here in Brunei. But first, let's get to the weekly segment of the show, which is the news. And let's kick things off with this. We got a trailer teaser this week for a movie that's coming out called Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's the 9th movie from director Quentin Tarantino. And it stars, we see in this teaser, it stars Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt. Leonardo DiCaprio is an actor in the...
Yeah,
in
he's
the,
playing an old actor called Rick Dalton.
yeah, who's a fictional
Yeah.
actor in a fictional TV series.
Yeah.
Margot Robbie is also in this.
Yeah, so this is a very interesting movie because it's fictional fictional characters in real world situations. Brad Pitt plays his stunt double. I'm forgetting his name right now. Margot Robbie plays Sharon Tate, the late Sharon Tate, who's probably known to a lot of people for being a victim of the grisly Manson murders in '69. Mm-hmm. This is one of the biggest casts in recent memory. It boasts everybody from Leo DiCaprio to Al Pacino, and the trailer itself was packed.
This is like the Expendables.
Yeah, this is like Remember when they first announced the Expendables, and we were like, finally, Schwarzenegger and Stallone in the same
Everyone
film.
lost their marbles. We were like,
Yeah,
wow!
yeah,
And then
and
we
then-
saw it and it was like, oh no.
Yeah, and then the second one proved to be a better film. So Tibbs is on the money there. This is like the Expendables when it comes to the casting news. I think the best part of the trailer was that surprise cameo from it's fair game. It's been a week.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So the week before the trailer came out, I read that they had cast somebody as Bruce Lee. And then in the trailer, Bruce Lee makes an appearance, and I have to say it's spot on.
Yeah. I thought it was.
for the 5 seconds.
Yeah,
he
for the
was
5
in it,
seconds we saw,
he
I
looks
thought,
like he was Bruce Lee.
yeah, that was something else.
He looked like Bruce Lee. He sounded like Bruce Lee. For all intents and purposes, he moved like Bruce Lee.
He is a karate black belt, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Mike Moore is the guy
Yeah,
who
Mike
plays
Moore, that's
Bruce Lee in this film. Of course, this is in the 60s and it's in Hollywood when Bruce Lee was already in Hollywood. He was
Yeah.
doing the Green Hornet.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was doing Green Hornet. Yeah, before he made any feature films. That's one of the things that happened this past week.
Here's a fun fact. I don't know if you know. The guy they got to play Charles Manson was hired to play Charles Manson in another movie as well.
So
Must be his lifelong dream or
either
mission.
that or it was on his resume. Played Charles Manson.
Yeah, and then somebody's like, you know what? Yeah. So I just thought that was extremely interesting that the same guy got to play the same serial killer twice.
in 2 different movies.
Yeah.
Although both probably telling different
Different sides,
No,
yeah.
different times in this serial killer's life.
Yeah.
It would be really funny if you're like, no, that's not how it happened.
Yeah. So I would know.
All right, another trailer we got this week is for John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum.
I love it.
You love it?
I have not seen the trailer because walking into every John Wick movie, I was spoiler. Like I don't know anything.
Oh, you don't want to see anything?
No poster, nothing.
So you're like Dell with Avengers.
Sort of, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
What did you think, Tibby?
I don't know, it's just too much a lot of action. There wasn't really much to say about because it's just bam, bam, bam. It's like, then sword, oh, bikes, yes. That scene reminded me of Final Fantasy VII. He was on a bike with a huge sword and then start swinging. Yeah, I want to watch.
I love your description though. Bam, 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 sword. Wow. This is, I think, it looks like the final chapter in the John Wick saga. It takes place right after the second movie where he's broken the rules.
He was about to run away.
Yeah, he was excommunicated.
So now he's been fully excommunicated and there is a price on his head.
Yes.
And they're all coming for him.
Every assassin
is coming after him. And it's shaping up to be, I think, maybe the best installment. Let's hope. We can only hope. We also have this bit of news, which we were just talking about off the air before I hit record. And it's Shazam and how early reviews have praised how much this movie is full of humor and heart. And it's such a great job, especially for Warner Brothers and DC right now. They're not calling it the DCEU anymore.
No, they're calling it Worlds of DC.
Worlds of DC.
Sure.
And
That
you
sounds
mentioned
better.
that it's now at 97% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yes, it is.
I'm excited. This is coming out in early April. We'll probably get it a couple of days before
We're
April.
getting it next week
We're getting it next week.
on Friday.
I guess we know what we're talking
We're
about.
reviewing
next week.
this next week, all right? We're saying it on the show. What do you expect to see?
The thing is, I was hyped for this movie from the get-go.
Yes, from the get-go, you were the first one that said, I love it. I want to see
and
this.
I'm just glad because the Shazam story has gone through so many mythological changes, and the last update was about 7 years ago, and that's what's serving as the basis for this movie. So there has been some spoilers coming out via action figures, and I'm really glad at how certain angles of the movie will be portrayed because it's very true to the comic book. As the trailer shows, it's about this kid Billy Batson who doesn't have a family, and then I think this will really explore the theme of family in a superhero film, which I think is very unique because most superhero movies are how they end up becoming the heroes.
Yeah.
But I think this story deals with something that I think it hits close to home for a lot of people. So I'm very excited for this one.
Because usually when it's a superhero, he comes from a loving family or he loses the family.
Yeah.
You know, I'm talking about Superman and Batman in particular
Yeah.
here. So there's always that family element that
Yeah.
plays.
So instead of losing everyone,
He's finding.
He's finding. So
Yeah.
he has to learn it.
Yeah, and I think that's such an interesting paradox for a superhero.
We can't wait for this movie. This is, like you said, coming out next week. So we're definitely gonna catch it, and we're gonna talk about it on the next episode of the podcast. We also got a trailer, the first official trailer for Toy Story 4. And I don't know how I feel about this movie. I've said it on this podcast. I don't know if we need this fourth movie, but I'll still watch it. It's just that I think can I say it's losing steam?
I have not seen the trailer,
Neither have
but
I.
I'm completely with you when I say I don't know why we're getting Toy Story 4. I thought 3 was such a good
It was a
ending.
good send off, and
Like it's unfairly good to close it like that. But I don't know why Toy Story 4 is happening. I've not seen the trailer. I saw the poster.
Maybe it's like a new season with new toys.
Maybe.
They're like handing it over to, I don't know.
like
Just-
another one.
Yeah.
I think we discussed this. Like, I think they must have had the story to tell. Otherwise, they wouldn't do this.
That's true. I don't think it's in their interest to just put up a mediocre Toy Story film. They would have had a proper story to tell, and it warranted giving us a fourth movie.
Maybe there's this one guy who said, oh, wait, we didn't close that loose end in Toy Story 3.
Yeah,
2.
probably. There's one bit that they're like, oh, let's spend another 150 million to close that gap.
Yeah.
All right, big news this week. The 21st Century Fox and Disney acquisition is finally complete. The ink has dried. We have been talking about this merger for the better part of a year now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Since middle of last year when the news broke, and we read a couple of articles that said,
Wasn't the first offer made right after The Last Jedi? The first talks that they had, the rumors broke
yeah, the rumors broke.
after The Last Jedi.
That's right.
And there's been speculation since then.
Because then Comcast put in their bid,
Yeah.
and then Disney upped their bid. But Disney, I think, gave the final bid sometime around the third quarter of last year, and they were mulling about it.
Yeah.
And then we sort of said that, yeah, the ink's going to take a while to dry. It's finally dried, which leaves the question open for what's going to happen to the catalog of the 20th Century Fox movies and TV shows. But more importantly, I mean, something that hits closer to home for us is what happens with the Marvel properties. Because there are some articles floating around out there that say that Deadpool will probably be the only character that survives the transition and this merger.
That makes sense.
And everything else will be just either shelved or rebooted.
That makes sense. I just checked it out. Yeah, so the first discussions took place December 2017. So for the last part of a year and 3 months, fans have just been like, when are we getting them back? Yeah, so
yeah.
I think it makes sense to keep Deadpool because, like, let's be real, he's more successful than
The X-Men and the Fantastic Four.
No, then the last 3 Fantastic Four films. So I think it makes sense, and I think Ryan Reynolds has built that kind of brand where he can make fun of the fact that there was a previous timeline, there's a new timeline, the studio deals, like how he talks about why is there only 2 X-Men in the mansion? Is the studio too cheap? Like how he does it.
And
So
now he's going to say, finally Disney's taking back Marvel.
yeah, he
merchandise.
can crack those kind of jokes.
And plus, Deadpool is already meta by nature. So
Yeah.
this is just another thing that he can just be meta about.
Yeah.
He's the only character I think that can stand in front of the screen and say, oh, well, I guess I'm stepping over to this studio.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
you'll have a shot of that.
Yeah.
Like
he
him.
could open with wearing Mickey ears or something. Yeah, so I think that makes sense. But it is kind of interesting because now they're rebranding the first 3 phases of the MCU now, and it's been rebranded to the Infinity Saga.
The first decade.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna see him anytime soon this year in a Marvel movie.
who would Deadpool?
I doubt it. It's going to be a while
If there
before.
was a movie where he would belong perfectly, it's Spider-Man Far From Home.
It's a little late to shoehorn him in.
Yeah.
Maybe for a quick post-credit.
Very
maybe.
quick one, I think.
Maybe. All right, speaking of Disney, which is Marvel, and of course Avengers, we're about a month away from Endgame.
We are, yes.
Yeah, we're about a month away from Endgame. Very, very excited to get that. But there have been a slow and steady stream of potential leaks that are coming out. I'm not going to reveal anything to anyone out there in case you are one of those like Dell who does not want to know anything about the movie. But as usual, we have a toy leak, and this time it comes from Funko. And there is a 2-pack which teases a Hulk and Thanos throwdown. And I have to say that Hulk and Thanos do look really good in this.
Interesting.
In this 2-pack for this Funko Pop. I'll share the photo with you
Okay.
later on.
I
'cause
have a Thanos Funko Pop. Kai
Yes.
gave one to me.
Oh,
Thanks,
yeah,
man.
but that was non-armored one, though. I don't know if he's got his armor.
This is armored, and Hulk looks like wearing a suit,
Oh.
as we saw in the leaked images that came out a couple of months
The
ago.
white suit.
No, the blue ones.
the compression
the
suit.
space suit.
Yeah. Interesting.
Still excited for this?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Number 1 of the year for me.
We're gonna bring tissue because the potential for someone to go is very real.
Apparently, there was a lengthy Instagram post today from some fan account. I was gonna share it with you guys. Completely forgot. Apparently, 4 of the actors are overdue for a contract renewal.
No,
It's not just this entire time.
So it's not just Evans.
No, it's not.
it's Evans. It's Hemsworth.
Downey Jr. and Jeremy Renner.
No.
Yeah.
4 of the originals.
4 of the originals have their contracts up this film.
Oh dear.
Mark Ruffalo has 1 more. Yeah, so I thought you guys would want to know that.
Goodbye.
Either that or Marvel's just taking their time.
Yeah.
It's probably a verbal contract that they have. It's just that nothing's probably signed. They said, look,
Yeah.
we're just going to hold off till after Endgame.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know, we're going to get the fans crazy.
Yeah, we'll
And-
make that 2 billion at the box office, and then you'll get your 4 million for the next one.
Maybe they're waiting for like when they announce that they finally get the contract signed, then the stock rise up again.
Yeah,
Like something
yeah,
like
Yeah,
that.
that's
Like,
probably
sure,
it.
yeah.
Spread it out to keep them in the news, so
Yeah.
to speak.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that are in the news, here's something that hasn't been for a while, although we got a good movie at the end of last year. We got Bumblebee, which is, I think, a fresh reboot of the Transformers
It's
franchise.
actually one of the best Transformers movies ever made.
Exactly.
Not that that's a high bar. but
The last movie before this Bumblebee movie was Transformers The Last Night. Now,
Yes.
this was an abomination of a movie.
Kev just dropping that bomb.
But it's true. Like sitting in the cinema or even watching it at home now that you can, things don't make sense. Aspect ratios change for no apparent reason.
get angry.
From
You
shot-
get angry.
You get angry. Tibby was especially angry because he said like the first 2 minutes of that movie with the knights fighting, that's a movie he wanted to watch, not
Yeah.
not the thing that we got. Anyway, the news is that The Last Night is getting a sequel.
What?
What is going on? Oh no,
he's gonna-
I get it now.
He's trying to prove everyone
I
wrong.
get it. They're gonna make a sequel to The Last Night to close off that chapter, and then the sequel to Bumblebee will be the new. No, Kev shaking his head.
I have no idea because this is coming from the producer of the Transformers now, Lorenzo
Di Bonaventura.
Bonaventura.
Oh, man, this
he
guy.
said that he has confirmed that a sequel to 2017's The Last Night
Stop it. please.
is in the works, and he said this in the same interview. He said the Bumblebee sequel, which is coming up, which is confirmed by the way,
Is the reboot?
will channel more of a Michael Bay Transformers approach.
Ah,
Okay.
They just took the best thing and ruined it.
And in the same interview, once again, he dropped this in the same interview with Collider. He said that one of the things he wants to see, and he doesn't know if we'll do it to this particular thing, which is the next Bumblebee movie and the following Transform movies, is he eventually wants to do a love story between Transformers. So, like, what does
Between
it...
the robots.
Like, what does it mean? Like, there's nothing physical about it or nothing biological about it. It's just that, exploring the, the feelings that they have for each other.
Oh no, that's happened in the cartoons. That's fine. But Lorenzo, retire, man. It's like you telling somebody, I love chocolate donuts. You know how you make it better? You give it soy sauce. This is it. This is soy sauce.
But they did so well with Bumblebee.
They did almost, like, given the constraint they had, that was a near perfect Transformers film.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you. But, okay, to put this into context, when he said that it was going to be more of a Michael Bay-esque approach, he was talking about, more explosions and more this and more that. I think they struck a really nice balance with Bumblebee.
They really did.
We didn't need it.
We don't need more explosions.
I think what he means is it'll be more in line with the Michael Bay vision.
See, that's a vision that was wrong from the third movie onwards.
Third?
No, the second.
Second one
Second,
was...
fine.
Like the third one was like, okay. I like the third one. Michael Bay, if you're listening, I'm not apologizing.
Okay, for us in Brunei here, what we say is, Michael Bay, you win already lah.
Yeah, you said like that, you win lah.
But no matter what they do, they'll still get millions.
They still get ridiculous amounts of money.
Yeah, so...
Here's Optimus Prime as a dog. 1 billion at the box office.
I don't know.
You don't know. Here's something I want to get your feed on. We are going to get a Detective Pikachu movie, which is shaping up to be okay. It seems to be fine.
I still think that's a troll. I still don't think it's
Dude,
happening.
they've had 2 trailers come out.
Superman, like the Nicolas Cage Superman movie, spent 60 million before they cancelled it.
They didn't have a trailer.
No,
I don't think
they
so.
didn't.
No, they didn't.
No,
Okay,
they didn't.
the Detective Pikachu movie is coming out on like the first week of May. All right, it's about 2 months away, and as we know, it stars Ryan Reynolds, who voices Pikachu. Anyway, they say that this Detective Pikachu movie may lead to a full-on Pokemon cinematic universe, or as I'm calling it now, the PCU.
PCU.
Do you think the world needs this right
No,
now?
they don't.
Some people do. I know some people might be a huge fan of this.
Okay, let's look at this statistically. The most successful shared cinematic universe is Marvel Studios.
Yes.
21 movies. Slightly on a tangent, Tarantino's movies are all in the same universe. 8 to 9 films. The Universal Monsters back in the 40s probably had about 9 to 12 movies as well. So the average number, if you take 20 and you add another, what's that, 12 plus 8, that's about 28, 40, divided by 3, you're looking at about 13 movies per cinematic universe.
Yep.
Does the world need 13 Pokemon movies in the next 10 years?
I don't.
But I think they will have enough storyline in their shelves.
I think they could do a solid 5 to 6 movie saga. Like solid, like it'll be really like A to Z in 6 movies.
Like tell an arc, and then end it there.
But if they're doing what I think they're doing, which is they play Detective Pikachu and they realize one Bulbasaur was super popular, he'll get his own film. That's the way Hollywood may go.
Because this is not who's the actual main guy in Pokemon?
Ash
Ash Ketchum.
Yeah.
Ash Ketchum's not going to be in this movie.
No.
So
No.
This is like,
I don't think
this
so.
Detective Pikachu thing is a totally separate thing.
Yeah, so
It's in the world of
although
Pokemon.
Ash, Ash and all the different gyms that we see in the cartoons, they
Peter and
exist
whatnot.
in this universe. Yeah,
So I'm guessing they might want to go that direction.
tell that story.
Yeah, bring Ash into the cinematic universe.
Yeah.
So 5 movies should be okay, I guess.
Okay.
Not 13 Pokemon
What
movies.
my question here is what exactly is happening to Hollywood? Because it seems like what's happening is that they're looking at the current demographic, which is us, like 30 to maybe 40 years old, and they're rewinding the clock like 20 to 25 years and seeing what we used to watch as kids and turning that into cinematic universes or live action movies.
I call it the Harry Potter effect, right?
Okay.
There was 8 Harry Potter movies, which were pretty good, pretty solid, right? And then Warner Brothers was like, we need something to fill the gap. So they tried with the DC movies and they couldn't really get it done. And then they were like, wait a second, it's been enough time for people to want Harry Potter again. So they launched Fantastic Beasts, which resulted in J.K. Rowling completely undoing 8 movies worth of chronology and narrative.
Yeah.
So for Hollywood, it's like, okay, how do we get a flavor of the week long enough before we reboot what was just popular a few years ago? Like, say, the Transformers is the perfect example, right? So Paramount/Hasbro may release a bunch of G.I. Joe movies and be like, all right, are we cool? Are we cool? All right, new batch of Transformers films. That's what's happening right now. I think with this whole Detective Pikachu thing, I think it's just a matter of them going like, okay, we gotta buy some time before we can reboot what was beloved 15 years ago, right? So I think that's what it is. I was a short-term Pokemon fan. I'm a Digimon guy by right. Like, I love Digimon. But I don't know if there's enough following for Pokemon to last it for too long. Like, this movie is going to make a good amount of money because this is the first time we're seeing this.
But it's not Marvel.
Yeah. You know, and it's the first time we're seeing Pikachu. I'm sure a lot of people will be like, I've always wanted to see a live-action Pokemon film. But by the second or third film, people will say, yeah, I'm kind of bored.
So that's going to lose steam.
Yes. So I
sure.
think that's the situation right now.
Oh, so there's going to be 3 movies with Pikachu, with Ash Ketchum. And then the other 2 movies is something else. Like, one is Detective Pikachu.
There's going to be a Team Rocket movie for sure.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, here's something that is coming out also early next month. It's Pet Sematary, which is a reboot of the Stephen King adaptation of his book by the same name. And the trailer is creepy. It's something that scared me. It's given me nightmares.
Not watch it.
Well,
I'm just going in.
yeah, I'm gonna watch
Yeah,
it
but I'm not
because it
gonna.
actually looks good. Early reviews has this movie saying that it's scary good and it's something that you should watch. So,
Yeah, I'm excited because I think Stephen King's gonna have a killing this year. There's also It Chapter 2.
correct, which is coming out later on in the year. And it's been a good couple of years for Stephen King. We got like the It movie in 2017, and then he had a couple of smaller films that came out on Netflix, Gerald's Game and
Dark Tower, is it?
Dark Tower. Yeah, don't talk about that.
Do we not like The Dark Tower? Because I thought it was alright.
I did not watch it.
Apparently it was bad.
It was
that
alright.
I didn't watch it.
Like, it was an hour and a half of some really cool gunslinging. I thought it was alright.
It's out on Netflix. Maybe I should check it out.
It's honestly not as offensive as people have said it is.
Okay, then I might check it out.
Yeah. it's
Here's
not
something
bad.
that may offend you, Khai. It's Terminator 6, and the title has been confirmed for this movie. And I think we talked about this a
Dark
couple of weeks ago.
Fate.
It's called Terminator Dark Fate.
Do you like how we went from Judgment Day to Dark Fate in just 20 years?
It's like they're trying to find synonyms for Judgment Day.
Yeah, it's oh man. What was the third one called? Rise of the Machines?
Yeah.
Oh, that was a great name.
Rise of the Machines.
That was a great name, but it's a terrible film.
I don't know. I enjoyed that.
This is Dark Fate.
Fence
No.
of-
You enjoyed Christina Loken. That's it.
No.
No, like,
okay.
here's the thing. It's not a good movie if you overthink it.
Uh-huh.
When you start thinking about the complexities of time travel, Terminator 3 is rubbish. But it's still honestly not as bad as Genesis.
Yeah, Genesis was the worst.
Which one is that?
The last one that came out. John Connor was like a half nanobot cyborg.
Oh, yeah.
That was so good.
So anyway, Dark Fate, I mean, we've talked about this on previous episodes of the podcast. It's probably a tie-in to the end of Terminator 2 where Sarah Connor is doing her monologue saying that there's no fate than what we make for ourselves or something like that.
Yeah.
And, this is just Dark Fate, but does this give a clue as to where this movie will point the franchise to?
No, honestly, what does that even mean? Like, they should have just called it Judgment Day again. You know what I mean?
Judgment Day, the
it's
second
like,
one.
It's like a Batman movie being called Reigns Over Gotham. It's like, what does that even mean? It rains in Gotham all the time.
Like they stopped the first Judgment Day,
Yeah.
and then now it went full circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this is the second one
Yeah.
that they're going to
This
stop.
is re-Judgment Day.
Dark Fate. Oh.
Dark Fate.
The
Well,
only reason I may even pay to watch this movie is because James Cameron said it's good.
but
But
he
did he?
said the same thing about Terminator Genesis.
Yeah, so, okay, he did. Yeah, he produced this.
Well, this is coming out in November, so we'll have to wait and see. Here's something that I am kind of excited to watch because this was a part of my childhood, and I don't know if you guys will agree with me, but we got a surprise announcement from the 2 actors that play Bill and Ted. It's Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves. They did like a little, Instagram story kind of video announcing that they
third
are
one.
doing a third film, and they still riff off each other really well, even though it's been so long. And
I'm excited for it.
I'm excited for it.
After John Wick, and then he's going this movie.
And then he's also in Toy Story. What? Keanu Reeves.
Yeah,
He's in Toy Story.
he's voicing one of the characters,
Okay, see new characters in Toy Story.
Yeah.
That
Neo,
would be awesome.
like a little toy.
That would be awesome if he's like voicing Neo.
No, he's
Actual
voicing a
Toy
stuntman.
A stuntman.
Yeah, like a stunt action figure of like Evel Knievel.
Oh, okay, so he's like an Evel Knievel kind of toy,
Yeah.
like Action Man kind of
Yeah.
thing. All right. Here's something that I want to just bring into the news because I thought it was amazing and sort of funny at the same time. There is a high school in the US. Usually high schools, they put on like an annual play, and it's usually a standard play like Gone with the Wind or
Streetcar Named
Julia.
Desire.
yeah, Midsummer Night's Dream, things like that. There was this particular high school in the US in North Bergen, New Jersey, and they put on a stage show of Alien,
Oh, nice. Nice.
the first Alien movie.
Nice.
And there are some pictures here of the stage, and this was done with no supposed budget, although they got fundraising, they had
Yeah.
fundraising activities to bring some funds in to, build the props, and it looks really good. Even the xenomorph looks like a movie quality xenomorph.
Nice.
So
Well done to them.
the only scene that they did not bring from the movie to the stage play
Chest
was
bust.
correct. Was the chest buster scene because it's a little bit violent for a high school setting. But everything else was in this play.
I wonder if the kids knew about aliens.
I'm sure they watched it at some point.
They're like, oh, here's your script. I wrote this.
So apparently the
Mr. Brad is such a smart man.
So apparently the teacher who was overseeing the production of this play says that he will eventually release the video. He's just editing it from a couple of cameras now, and he'll probably have it maybe in May and June.
No, I'm excited.
I'm excited to see. I'll show you the photos after we finish recording.
Now I'm like wondering if he's gonna do aliens too.
With the next year's seniors.
If there is, please put up like a Patreon page. I would like to donate. It's like something.
So good.
So if a high school could do this, what is wrong with the current system?
Ridley Scott is what's wrong with the current system. Kev, you know that. You're just being nice. Alien Covenant was horse manure.
But why?
Yeah,
My
it's
goodness.
disappointing where Hollywood is right now.
It is, and I hate to bring about more disappointment to you, but it's something that we're gonna have to talk about because I showed Tibby this earlier on. It's a trailer that we got yesterday. And
What's this
I'm
about?
already laughing.
it's the first trailer for Dora the Explorer,
Oh no.
the Lost City of Gold.
I saw thumbnails. I'm not even glorifying that thing with data. Like,
we
don't
we
watch
watched it here. At
is
my
the monkey
house.
there?
The monkey's there. He's all CG.
What's
He's
the
all
monkey's name? Diego?
Boots.
Boots.
No,
yeah.
Diego's the little brother,
The
cousin.
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 So you have like a really hot-looking Diego. You have this teenager Dora, and apparently it's been reported that Danny
Trejo, yeah,
has
Machete.
joined the cast. Machete himself has joined the cast.
Boots.
I don't think he's voicing Boots. No, I think he's an actual character.
Okay.
Okay.
Because
I think
it's
TB's
Boots.
right.
is it Boots?
Give me like 10 seconds.
Because I think it was his Instagram or Twitter saying that he'll be joining Dora the Explorer as Boots. But that would be like so. I wanted
Yeah,
to.
Danny Trejo's boots.
Oh no!
Yeah. We only see him like in 2 scenes.
Yeah.
But
And-
he didn't talk.
Yeah, he didn't talk. Monkeys are not supposed to talk, okay?
Yeah,
but
but-
anyway, in this universe, look, it's a universe where Michael Pena is married to Eva Longoria. So,
I didn't even know that, but wow. Okay, well done, Michael.
all right, so that's the news this week right here on the Wayang Crew Podcast for this episode. If you want to let us know, if any particular news, do get in contact with us at our links in the description down below, which leads us to our review this week of Us. Or in Brunei, Kami.
There was a girl.
There was a girl. Anyway, Us is
girl.
Us is the second movie from director
Jordan
Jordan Peele, who of course got his start in comedy. And I hate to see what goes on in this guy's mind, but
Yeah.
if these are the things that are coming out of his mind in terms of the movies that he wants to make, I mean, this is an interesting fella, but he is twisted.
He
like,
needs
a
to go
lot.
back to comedy for a bit.
Yeah. I think he needs a palate cleanser.
Just to cleanse the palate.
Yeah.
This movie to date has raked in domestically in the US $29 million, which is not bad considering that it's only been out for 2 days.
And it's R rated, I think.
It is R-rated, yeah. It's R-rated. It's classified as a thriller, not a horror, as I suspected. Yeah, I mean, this thing had a budget of about $20 million.
Yeah, sounds about right.
I don't know.
You want to do the synopsis?
I can do the synopsis.
Yes, you do the synopsis.
Right, okay. The synopsis of the movie. So the synopsis is the main character is Lupita Nyong'o, and she plays Adeline. Adeline. I don't know how it's pronounced.
Addie.
She plays Addie, who's married to Winston Duke, who also played Mbaku, the white gorilla.
Ibombe.
And then, so they have 2 kids. They're happily married. So I like the fact that, we're getting an African American family in place of a Caucasian American family. I thought that was really smart and nice. So the story opens with her in 1986.
86.
Yeah, 86, where she's with her parents. Fun fact, the father's played by Yahya Abdul-Mateen, who played Black Manta in Aquaman.
Oh, okay, but we don't really see his face.
No.
Much,
So she's with her parents at a fairgrounds, traveling fair circus.
Santa Cruz.
Yeah, in Santa Cruz Beach. And the parents have a bit of a... they're going through a patch, I think, in the marriage. And she's very quiet, and the dad's a bit of a... he's a bit carefree. And he goes to play whack-a-mole while the mom goes off to the bathroom, and Addie, the little girl, goes around wandering around Santa Cruz, and she finds herself in the House of Mirrors, where she finds a doppelganger of herself. The story cuts, and then we zoom to modern day, the present day, where Addie's married to Winston Duke. So they have a family, and they're about to have a summer break in Santa Cruz. I think this much has always been shown in the trailer. When they're in Santa Cruz, one night they see doppelgangers that look like themselves, and they're standing in the driveway, and then they start wreaking havoc on this family and on their life. And basically, we find ourselves wondering, can they make it? Are they gonna survive? That's basically the basic synopsis of the film.
Okay, so not much was revealed in the trailer as to what this story was going to be about, except for the fact that the reason why it's called Us, it's because this family is terrorized by by themselves, essentially, by doppelgangers, like people who look exactly like them. I thought it was particularly interesting that before the movie even started, there was some text across the screen saying that there are thousands of miles of tunnels under the US.
Yes.
Some of them are abandoned subways, some of them are shelters, and
some of them are just tunnels.
Some of are just
for
tunnels.
reasons not known why.
For reasons not known why. This movie, I don't know. I walked out of the cinema and I thought to myself, okay, I'm not going to bash this movie and say that it was horrible, it was bad. I'm just going to say that for the first and second acts, I was into it.
Yeah.
By the time it got to the third act, things sort of fell apart a little bit. And I was like, you know what? I pulled out my phone this week on this movie. I've never ever done that. We've been watching movies together for years now, and I almost never pull my phone out. But this was a movie where I lost interest because what they were trying to build.
Last time you pulled out your phone was Transformers.
Exactly. But again, I'm not saying it's Transformers bad.
Yeah.
It's just that the first and second acts were building towards something really good, and then it sort of just fell apart as soon as the third act started.
Right.
And that's just how I feel about this movie. Let's do a quick one and then we'll jump right into spoilers. Tibby, what did you think?
I think Jordan Peele did really well in Get Out, but then he felt like I should do more of this, so he went full on creative. And then I don't know what goes on in his head, so this is what he did, which I really cannot explain why, but this is probably what he wants to do. So this is what we ended up getting.
Okay.
I like the movie. I mean, I went out of the cinema having stressed out throughout the movie because it's like one of those, why is this like this? Why is this person attacking them? Why is this whole family doing so? If you have a heart condition, don't
watch this movie.
Yeah.
Khai, what did you think of this movie?
Okay, so some of my friends had seen the film, and going in, I had expectations because Get Out was such a nice surprise as a film. I didn't get to see it in the cinema. I waited a good amount of time, and then I finally watched it, and I thought, okay, this is kind of like a game changer for the genre. It's a bit new, like the concept is a bit twisted, and with Us, the trailer came out of nowhere, I believe. I wasn't expecting there to be a Jordan Peele film, and then suddenly the trailer for Us came out, and I thought, oh wow, there's another Jordan Peele movie, and I got excited. When I was watching it, I consistently had one thought, which is, this seems like the kind of movie where Jordan Peele tuned into a certain frequency and all of us can't tune into that same frequency. It's like he heard a sound that none of us are hearing, or he's seeing something we can't see. I really felt like I was a bit frustrated because going in, some people I know were saying that it was one of the best horror movies they've ever seen. And I love horror movies, so I was really excited. And like Kev says, it was all good for me until the third act. Even the third act was fine. It was like the last 15 minutes where I just went, what?
Like what is this?
Yeah, like, okay, what's this supposed to be? And I'm trying to keep it spoiler free, but my overall thoughts also was there were situations where the characters,
Questionable.
yeah, like I just went, no,
Why-
you wouldn't do this.
Yeah, why would you do that particular thing?
Yeah, you wouldn't do this. No,
Yeah.
you wouldn't do that. Like, I understand.
Do
There's,
you want to die?
yeah, like, I just, it's a bit tough, man. It's a bit tough.
It's frustrating.
Yeah, and especially because it's the present day. Like, okay, if we're saying it's the present day, then the real world itself is a dangerous place.
That's true.
People are more aware of things. They're more paranoid. Information travels so fast through phones, whatever. I just think if this was real world, people would be freaking out very fast.
Yeah,
You know?
right,
So
you're
I,
right.
I just, yeah.
All right. I guess that's all we can say without spoiling too much because anything we say moving forward is a spoiler. So from this point on, it is a spoiler review. Spoiler review. All right. This movie is it leaves a lot of questions to be
Yeah.
asked when you walk
Oh,
out.
man,
When you
that-
walk out of the cinema, there are a lot of opportunities where, like Khai just mentioned, you look at what's happening on the screen and you say, "No, you wouldn't do that in that situation.
Yeah.
You would run. You wouldn't tuck down and look under the car. You would
Yeah.
just bolt and run."
Yeah, okay. So here's the thing for those listeners who don't care about spoilers. The plot is that there's an entire world full of doppelgangers.
Well, I think it's clones.
Clones, yes.
Yeah.
I was getting there.
Yeah.
Like, basically, we all have clones, and they live in the tunnels of America. And see, as I'm explaining it,
Maybe the Americans have clones.
yeah, okay. So Americans have clones that live in the tunnels across America.
Yeah.
And they can't speak, and they live a very depraved, grotesque version of the lives we lead.
And
Because we are tethered together.
they
Yeah.
have one
because
soul.
because
soul.
even though the scientists or whoever cloned us to have another person living underground that resembles us,
The soul is one.
the soul is one.
Yeah.
So I don't understand that
And
concept. Yeah.
Lupita Nyong'o's character meets her clone / doppelganger in the House of Mirrors when she's a kid, and is traumatized the rest of her life.
Or as we believe.
Yeah. And then when we're watching the film, the clone and her clone family attack them. They're trying to kill them.
Yeah.
Oh no, we don't know what they're trying to do. We don't know
We
what
don't
they're
know.
trying to do. We just know they're trying to wreak havoc. And we realize that their friends have clones as well. There's Elizabeth Moss's character who's
Yeah.
from The Handmaid's Tale.
And then after that, we get like a news report where
Yeah, there's more clones.
it's a nationwide thing now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these clones are trying to wreak havoc across Santa Cruz at least, and then across the country. And when we're watching it, Lupita Nyong'o goes down a hidden door in the House of Mirrors again. And when she's downstairs, she meets her clone. And this is where it gets confusing because the evil Lupita says, "Oh man, I can't even explain it." So the evil Lupita says, "We're doppelgangers. We can't speak. We've been living here, but we have one soul and we're tethered for life." And then another twist comes in, which is the Lupita down in the basement was the actual Lupita when she was younger. And then they
switched.
Yeah, and they switched. It was a flashback, which is the original Addie is the one that became the evil doppelganger because their places were switched because the doppelganger Addie took her place in the real world. And she speaks funny because her voice was she was choked and she lost her voice.
Yeah, that's supposedly one of the explanations.
Yeah,
Like, we
and
don't
then
really know why.
She and then she was the only one of the doppelgangers who could speak, so she led a revolution. And the revolution is something that she saw on TV as a kid, which is Hands Across America. And all the doppelgangers were just forming a human chain
Yeah,
across
it's like
America.
coast to coast.
I don't get it. Like I said, it's like Jordan Peele saw something and we can't see it, I guess.
Yeah, it's like he's trying really hard to
Explain it to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's trying so hard. It's like a painting. He goes, "Look, do you see? I'm like, I don't see it." Yeah, so that was the thing about the movie, and I really enjoyed it up until that monologue from evil Lupita when she talked about clones and one soul. I thought it would have just been perfect if you could just have tied it back to the mirrors thing.
Yeah.
Like, these are mystical mirrors. Every time you see yourself, another version of you is born. Like, that could have been so much simpler. But the whole plot with I replaced you, you replaced me, and then Hands Across America, I lost it.
This would have worked so much better if it was something from the page of maybe a potential Marvel movie, like, oh look, there's another dimension,
Yeah.
and they're leaking through.
Yeah.
You know,
Like
Like a dark
Stranger
dimension.
Things.
Yeah, a dark dimension, and the gateway is a mirror.
There
Like,
you go.
something like that.
Well, anyway,
Ah.
Tibby, what do you think? Like, honest opinions of this movie?
Again, it's a good movie, I guess. It's not bad, but I'm not sure if everyone would enjoy it.
That's true.
Because it's so stressful. Like there's questions after questions after questions up until the last minute of the movie. Your questions will be answered.
and then no, your perspective shifts.
Yeah.
Right after that, right?
And I was like, why? Oh, that's why. And then you go out on the movie, and then it's like, oh, that's why. This is like that. That's why she can talk. That's why. Like I don't want to experience that going out of a movie. I want to that was a good movie. I don't need to think hard.
You're right.
Yes, but there are some loopholes.
Yeah.
Story. Like why would she wait for them to be in Santa Cruz to start the revolution if she wanted to take revenge? She could have started anytime.
Yeah, but I think she would only know that she could meet her doppelganger.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's very hard to explain. Once again,
I understood that as because they live under the city of Santa Cruz.
is it only in Santa Cruz?
I think it's.
I don't think it's only. Again.
You keep poking holes.
Yeah, because we got a news report. It never said where, but it was in a city.
Yeah.
And they said that it seems like they're coming out of the sewers.
Oh no, that looked like a local Santa Cruz report.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But my question is just, what's the end game here? Like, you start holding hands across America, and then what?
Is it because when the beginning of the movie?
Yeah, she saw a trailer.
She saw a movie, like an ad.
Maybe that is the underground scientists' work, the holding hands thing.
No, that
the rabbits were the
rabbits were
they were clones.
the rabbits were the clones. But
No. Maybe like it's a hidden project where in the real world they call the holding hands. But if you contribute, it's actually contributing to the cloning project. I don't know.
See, that's the thing.
Know.
Like, we can keep spitballing, but I don't know if there's a right answer.
Yeah, there's no right answer.
Yeah,
I think
Jordan Peele knows. Did you know Jordan Peele hates rabbits?
No, but that explains a lot about us.
Because apparently he says rabbits itself, they're like cute and cuddly, but in a different context. And if you put a lot of them at the same time in one room, it gets scary because they don't really show any affection.
And the eyes are red.
Yeah, and then they're like big eyes.
Have you seen a skeleton of a rabbit?
No, I've not.
It looks like a monster.
Really?
Because their front teeth are so huge, and then it just looks wrong. I think I googled it and I showed it to
I
you.
was like, okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
leave it to Jordan Peele to find something scary about rabbits.
Yeah. All right, so I guess we've talked about all that we can talk about this movie. I guess without giving away too much, which is not our intention. Because if we really spoil this movie for you, then it's not worth you going to watch it in the
Yeah, I
cinema.
think it's up to interpretation. Like, you watch it and you decide what you think.
Yeah, or what you want to think.
Yeah.
All right,
Let's give it scores.
let's give it scores. Tibby, what do you give us?
Although it's stressful to watch, I would still give it 7 rabbits, I guess. Out of
7
10.
rabbits. Khai?
Yeah, I'm with Tibby on this. I'll give it 7 scissors out of 10.
7 scissors out of 10. I would give this movie, which is Jordan Peele's second movie, it's called Us. I would give it 7.5 holding hands out of 10.
7.5 hands across America.
Hands across America, because you have to detach yourself totally from Get Out. Like, you don't expect like anything remotely similar to Get Out. This is a totally different cast, totally different story.
It is still well made.
It is still
it's
well
still
made,
well made.
and I think it's a good second attempt by Jordan Peele, and we hope to see more of this in the
Maybe
future.
in the next movie he could get a bigger budget.
Maybe.
I think self-finance.
Did he self-finance this?
I think he financed a portion of it.
This
at least.
$20 million, which is the supposed production budget for this movie.
I mean, he already made his money back.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's just him. But then he owns the studio that put it out.
I think it's a partnership.
It's a partnership, right? What's it called? Something Hands.
Monkey
Hand.
Paw.
Monkey Paw.
Productions.
Yeah. All right. So there you have it. That's our review of Us, which is now still showing in local cinemas, which leads us to our next bit of the show, which is Apa Liat Liat.
Oi, apa liat-liat? Apa liat-liat? Hoi, 看什么看? Apa liat-liat?
Apa liat liat?
你看什么看？
Apa liat-liat? See what see? 小了.
Yep, we haven't had one for a couple of weeks, and I'll be very honest, I'll kick this off. I have not watched anything this week, except for like reruns of Friends on Netflix in the background, as I'm doing.
I've
like,
never seen Friends.
At all.
why?
At all. Not even the 5 minutes of an
Wow.
episode.
Tibby?
I've been busy playing Apex Legends.
Apex Legends.
I heard it's
Yeah.
good.
I downloaded it and I tried to run it on my laptop and it runs with like medium settings, so I might join you in the next couple of weeks.
Yep.
Khai,
I've actually been watching a lot of stuff.
I think it's just you this week on Apa Liat Liat.
So I've seen both versions of the Fire Festival documentary.
The HBO one and the
Hulu.
Hulu one.
and Netflix.
Hulu and Netflix.
Hulu and Netflix, sorry.
Yeah. Personally, I think Hulu had a better angle to the story, but Netflix had better interviews.
Okay.
So I still think both is if you want to know the story, you should watch both. I've also been watching The Umbrella Academy. I am at episode 3 and I'm really enjoying it.
See, it's a good.
Yeah, I did
love
not
it.
expect to be enjoying it, but I'm really enjoying The Umbrella Academy. I'm at episode 3 of the first season. I finally made some progress on Punisher season 2, and I realized now why I stopped in the first place. It's just dragging on forever, and I honestly don't think I can like give it too much space anymore. Like I don't think I can do it anymore.
Like you don't have the energy to do it
No,
anymore.
I really don't have the energy to do it. And then I actually also just finished my version of the MCU marathon. Like, so I only do the Captain America movies. So I did Captain America First Avenger, the first Avengers movie, Winter Soldier, Age of Ultron, Civil War, and then Infinity War. So I only follow Cap's progress. So I just finished that as well. So it's been
quite a
productive.
ride,
Yeah.
and potentially what could happen in this next upcoming Endgame movie. Well,
Yeah. I hope he still lives.
just take a breath. Take a breath.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the episode this week on the Wayang Crew Podcast. We'll be back next week with either Shazam or Pet Cemetery.
I think it will be Shazam.
It'll be Shazam
Pet
first.
Cemetery would be just like the week after.
For the week after.
Yeah.
All right, next week, Shazam. That's coming up for our next review here on the Wayang Crew Podcast. I want to thank my co-hosts Tibby and Khai for joining me, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.